All right, boys and girls, we are going to look at linking verbs. And linking verbs are almost always forms of the verb to be. So we're going to look at different forms of to be. We're going to write our name first. And again, I like to make a little chart. So we're going to do one line here, one line here, one line here, and one line here. My desk is wet, so my paper's getting wet. So we're going to look at the pronoun over here. We're going to start out with I. Then we're going to do he, she, and it. You, we, and they. And this is a little chart we're just making that's going to have to be, right? So I'm drawing a little bee. Draw a little stinger there on the end. So we're going to do past. Then we'll do the present. And then we'll do the future. Okay. So if I'm going to start out with the present, we did that on the last lesson. So we're saying I am tall, he is tall, you are tall, we are tall, they are tall, right? So that's how we conjugate to be in the present. If we want to use to be, we might say I was tall. Maybe I'm getting old and I'm shrinking, so we might say I was tall. She was tall. You were tall. We were tall. They were tall. Okay, so we have a lot of words down here and a couple of wases at the top. And then if we have the future, I'm not sure if there's future in here. But we can always say, I will be. He will be. You will be. We will be. They will be. Okay. So we have past, present, and future. So a linking verb tells what someone or something is or what someone or something is like. Most linking verbs are forms of the verb be. The key word here is most. Not all of them are going to be forms of be, okay? But a lot of them will be. So it's good for us to have made this little chart so we know, we recognize the verb to be in all its different forms. And so we're going to look for it when we are looking at our sentences, but we also can't count on it because it's not going to be a linking verb all the time. So here's a little clue, an example. It says that story is scary, and is here on our chart. So we know that that's the linking verb. Which word tells what a person or thing is? That's going to be our key, or what a thing is like. Okay, so that's going to be our clue. Science fiction was always my favorite type of story. Since we had was on our chart, I think we can, it's a safe bet that was is our linking verb. The stories are very imaginative. Again, I'm seeing are down here on our chart. In one story, a creature from Mars becomes lost on Earth. So this one does not have anything from over here. So we're going to be looking for the verb. In one story, a creature from Mars, what does it do? It becomes lost on earth. So becomes as our linking verb. Number 4, the creature appears human. Again, I'm not seeing any of these bees. So we're going to just pick the one verb that is there, which is appears. So that's going to be our linking verb. Number 5, a boy is kind to the creature. So I'm looking, and I'm seeing is kind. So is the linking verb. Soon the creature is comfortable at the boy's home. So is, again, is our linking verb. The Martian becomes homesick on Earth. So we saw becomes before, and that's a linking verb because you can't just use homesick as a verb unless you have this becomes homesick. You can't say the Martian homesick on Earth. We have to have a linking verb to complete the sentence. That story seemed realistic in some ways. So I'm guessing that seemed in this case is our linking verb. Again, it's not on the chart. So they were right. Sometimes be is used. A lot of times, most of the time, be is used, but not always. There are other verbs that can be linking verbs, right? We saw becomed, we saw appears and seemed, right? That were linking verbs as well. Linking verbs are pretty important in sentences, and we use them all the time. We just don't really notice that we're using them. And so one of the things about fourth grade grammar and learning about grammar is that you start to see things that you've been doing all along with English and you haven't really known what it was called, or you haven't really known specifically exactly what you're doing, but you're going to start learning what you're doing. And that's kind of the fun part about grammar, is that you understand English a little bit better than you did before. So we're really going to be analyzing and thinking about the English language, and that's one of the fun parts about studying grammar. It's also really fun when you're studying grammar of a new language because it helps you to understand English grammar better. So I don't think I really understood English grammar very well until I started learning French grammar, and then I started comparing English and French together. And so if you're a Spanish speaker, you're going to start seeing that comparison, which is kind of fun to do. If you're an English speaker and you want to take another language, it's going to help you with your English. All right, so I hope this helped you. I hope you have learned a little bit how to recognize linking verbs. This lesson repeats, and we will be looking at more linking verbs as time goes on because they're kind of important. So there is another linking verb lesson that will come up later on during the year, and you'll go, oh, linking verbs, I remember those. To be. All right. I hope this helped you, and I hope that you can recognize linking verbs when you're reading and writing. Thanks for joining me.